Hey, John Gard here. I'm going to show you how to plow a contest plot. And what's neat about a contest plot is it's like plowing a miniature field. We plow a crown and plow a dead furrow. So if you're just starting out and want to know how to plow a field, so I've got a sighting pole on the start end, a sighting pole on the far end here, and I'm going to set a third sighting pole by eyeballing down these first two. And the trick is to get this accurately placed. Okay, so I drove the tractor up here and I'm going to sight down these three sighting poles. When I get up to this first one, I'll pull it out and then I'll sight down the two remaining ones as I plow along. Okay, without knowing where the lever should be, I'll just throw the land lever about in the middle and throw the furrow lever way up, because you got to get the front bottom in the ground and turn dirt right away. Pull up while also sighting down these sighting poles, and right when the front point gets right at the scratch mark, trip it, and I'll get in and plow that much. Now that the plow moved in, plowed about 5 feet, I'm going to bring the lever up to where I think it should be. It looks like it'll be a little deeper to the back. I'm just going to eyeball how much dirt is rolling over the back bottom. Now the back looks like it's heading too deep. Go a little deeper at the front. You want two equal height furrows. I suppose the front furrow could be a little higher, but I like them equal height. And the trick is to get this figured out as quickly as possible and get on with plowing. There you go, I like it. I wish I could have figured that out in the first 2 feet rather than the first 10. Got to the pole at the end of the plot, I pulled it, and now I'm going to drive a little further forward, sighting down this third pole. There's nothing to sight down, I'm just heading straight forward towards it. Pull the lever to lift it. There, now you got dirt all the way to the end there. So now when I'm coming up to the second pass, I shoot for seeing a little bit of stubble between the edge of the front tire and that turn furrow, and the rear tire should stomp over a little bit of stubble and just stomp some of those loose clods to clean up, to make a clean edge. Move the sight hill lever over. We'll deepen the furrow lever up again. Get the plow in the ground. Shallow the furrow lever back up again. Not quite moving enough to the front. Furrow. There you go. That's looking better now. Maybe I could be driving a little bit further to the right here, leaving a little bit of hole in the middle. There you go. 4 equal height furrows. This is how antique and open class do the start. Small plow would plow a small split, where you plow real shallow and throw it out, and then you throw it back in. Get to the end here and I'll apply that same trick. Go a little deeper with the furrow lever. Plow up. Shallow. It's a little crooked on this end. And I got a little stubble showing in the middle, but 4 equal height furrows, that's the idea. Looks pretty decent. Maybe I have a little hole in the middle too. Maybe they could be a little tighter and I could get that stubble covered in the middle, but that's the idea. Okay, I was eyeballing the depth on that first pass, but I was going 5.5 inches. Plowing full depth on this first pass, and we had to transition down to general plowing to the depth we want to go. So this will be a transition pass to get these 2 furrows to match the furrows we've already plowed. Okay, same deal. Get the front point right up to the scratch mark and pull the trip rope, and we're off. Same thing again here. We're just eyeballing where levers need to be, just to trying to get furrows to match quickly. Now we are. Okay. So hopefully we get that figured out quicker in the contest. The plow might be a little out of shape, but the big thing is to get the furrows to match. So I've plowed my 4 rounds around my crown. I've made 4 rounds total. I'm going to move to the right and plow against my neighbor, and I'm going to start plowing out. I'm throwing it out, and I'm going to finish with a dead furrow. I'm going to measure between my furrow wall and my neighbor's furrow wall, and I'm going to check for parallel. I'm going to check for the width and know what adjustments to make. When I have 1 round left, I have to have 39 inches left to plow. It has to work out that way, 39 inches plus or minus an inch. You'll see how it works out later, and then it's got to be that accurate or else the judges will see that it's not straight. So when I do this, I'm going to put the stake on my side, measure over to my neighbor. We got 20 feet exactly, and I'm going to eyeball down my neighbor's furrow wall and see what adjustments I need to make to correct it. And hopefully my side's already straight, but I may have to make adjustments on my side too to make it straight. So I measured exactly 20 feet in 3 different locations. And you can see there are some wiggles out there, but at the macro level it's at 20 feet, so 240 inches. It should be at 231 according to my notes. So this is where knowing how much your plow cuts makes a big difference. I've got 8 passes to take out that extra 9 inches, or you could say I've got 4 passes along my neighbor's side because I like to hide that on the neighbor's side. I don't think the judge will see it as easily, and I can plow a little faster and throw a little flatter and maybe hide that when the front bottom's cutting wider than it should. This first pass against your neighbor, the judges will ignore it somewhat. So this is the time to make some big adjustments, fix these crooks, and they won't hold it against you. Okay, I'm going to get off numerous times and measure. I'm going to measure off my coulter blade over to the furrow wall, and I've got 167 left, and I should have 159, so I'm 8 inches too wide. So I need to cut out 8 inches in these next 5 passes. Okay, so I've got exactly 87 inches left to plow. That means 2 rounds left in this whole plot. I have a 12-inch plow. I'm going to shallow up 1 notch because this furrow bottom is where the wheel mark's going to end up, and the next furrow bottom on the other side is where my very last pass is going to plow against. So I've shallowed this up once, 1 notch. I'll probably have to go a little deeper here to get this to match in with the rest of the plowing, but we'll find out when we get going. So notice the magic here. I've got 5 furrow widths here, and the tractor wheels can stay on top of the unplowed ground. When your width is wrong, if it's uneven or just plain wrong, you're going to get in trouble with the tractor walking back and forth, trying to straddle 4 furrow widths underneath your tractor. But this works out perfect when you've got 5 furrow widths and you keep the tractor up on top of the land. So now I've got 39 inches left to plow. 36 is 3 furrow widths, yes, but I'm going to cut an inch extra at the front on this pass because the tire is 13 inches wide, and I want to leave 14 that's unplowed. And when I've got 1 round left, 3 furrow widths, I'm putting my left tractor wheels in this opposite furrow bottom, and that's what ensures that what I'm doing now is going to be straight and parallel with my crown. I'm going to shallow the land lever all the way up, and this trick is different for every plow. But I'm going to keep the land wheel right on the edge of that furrow wall, just about ready to fall in. If it's not in danger of falling in, it's going to leave too wide of ground left to plow. Oh, and now the thing did trip. There, okay. Okay, so now we're on our last pass. We're back in with the right wheels in the furrow bottom, and you'll notice the left wheels are running squarely on the furrow that was turned by the front bottom. We've got ideally 14, but it actually turned out to be 16 wide, but it'll turn out. And it's nice and shallow, so it's going to work out really well. Okay, it's looking pretty good. The goal here is to get the front furrow to match in with the rest of your plowing, and the furrow turned by the rear furrow can be a little lower or match your plowing. Another trick is that front furrow always looks bigger. It might be perfect size, but it always looks bigger because it doesn't have a full-size furrow against it. So the trick is to plow 1 inch narrower with the front bottom, and that's a visual trick to make it fit in with the rest of the plowing. And there you've got a completed finish. It's shallow and clean and narrow. That's the idea. You can eye down the wheel mark and you can see it fits perfectly square on that one furrow. and you're somewhat parallel with the furrows on this side. It's not perfect, perfectly straight, but forgive me. But this is the idea. And then the front furrow matches in with the rest of your plowing. Pretty decent for practice, and hopefully I can turn up the volume and do a little better in contest.